Let's look at how to pronounce the central vowels in American English. So we have vowel schwa, unstressed and stressed here in the center. They both sound like and we'll talk about the difference between stressed and unstressed schwa in a moment. Also in the center is where we have our sound. So the r sound in rain and red can be considered a consonant. I often talk about the vocalic R or the as being a vowel sound because it can continue like a vowel sound, So we're going to look at first vowel schwa, both stressed and unstressed. And this is the unstressed schwa is the most common sound in the English language and the most common vowel sound. The symbol for that is this little upside down E, and it basically sounds like a very short little sound. Whereas the stressed schwa can be a clear vowel. It also sounds like and basically the placement of these two is the same. They're both central. So my tongue is resting in the bottom of my jaw, but my mouth is not very open. This is the sound we make when we're using fillers in English, such as or and it's our home base or our resting place for speech in American English. So it's a critical vowel to be able to say correctly, and it's a challenging vowel because you may not have a schwa in your native language. It's also spelled with a lot of different ways, and let's break that down for you to help you understand the spelling, the accent error patterns, and how to correct them. So for the stressed schwa, the main spellings are letter U, as in such fun, letter O as in some or one, or letter A as in what. Or for the unstressed schwa, it could be the A as in above. The unstressed schwa can be all of these letters as well, plus the I and the E can also sometimes be considered to be a schwa sound, although often in a dictionary, when those vowels are reduced, they are written as the I sound. So the difference between a short reduced schwa, and a short reduced I is that the I is just a little bit higher. When we're talking about reduced vowels, sometimes these two vowels are a bit interchangeable, and I talk about that in my videos for those vowels. But when you're thinking about schwa, the thing to be aware of is that it can have almost any spelling. Letter U does say the schwa vowel when it's the main vowel about 66% of the time. So I use letter U or letters UH for the to represent schwa in my alternative spelling, because I think that that's the most common way we visualize and think of it. The most words have the sound, but again, there's a wide variety of spellings, which is part of the issue with this vowel. The main error, though, for the stressed schwa is that people will be too open, and so they'll say something a little more like actually usually this so a central open vowel, which we don't have in English. Similar to the we do have in English, like in father or not. So you might be saying something like some, and it'll come out a little more like Sahm. Or your word nut will open to a not, a little bit too open. So the tongue is resting in the same place, but my jaw is more open for the sound than the sound. So closing the jaw is a good way to help correct this accent error pattern. I'll also sometimes hear you may tend to use something more like the spelled letter. So when you see a word like what, instead of using the what pronunciation, you might be saying something more like what. So you might be using more of the A sound. Or in a word like above, you might be saying above. So you see this letter A or this letter O, and you have a tendency to want to use something more like an or an O there, a clear vowel, or something that is like the spelled letter rather than just the sound. This happens particularly on unstressed schwa, like the first syllable of above, across, again. You might be using something that's more of a clear vowel instead of just a short, reduced little sound. You can get more help for correcting this accent error pattern, learning where the schwa is, how it relates to the rhythm of words, and how it relates to the home base for speaking in our Sounds of English course on speechmodification.com. I go through all of the common words that have schwa and how it's spelled, and give you a lot of tips and practice for making the schwa versus the ah, and other ways to correct error patterns for vowel schwa. Thanks so much for practicing with me today on the central vowel sounds, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.